beers made in Kansas City.
If anybody wants to check this, it's been a couple weeks since we went live.
All right, you know what? Are we live on both?
You know what it's not?
We're live on both.
I'd like not owned by Belgians yet.
You gotta put a pause in there.
Let me check. I'll check
Not owned by the
YouTube.
Belgians.
We are on YouTube. Just came up. I just got the notice.
Kansas City. Is Kansas City, Kansas or Kansas City, Missouri?
Listed brewery. Listed Missouri.
Good. That's better.
All right.
Better place.
Somebody
to
want to
be.
check the
Very
Facebook?
well,
Facebook.
I
I'm
stayed
sure
in
we
Kansas
are.
City, Kansas, and played in Kansas City.
Yeah, that's good. I gotta tell you, Kansas, Kansas rectangle, swallows thousands of people here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's rectangle.
And they die.
I didn't
We don't know
that. Obviously, I made it back. So
Yeah.
I didn't suffer a horror fate.
Yeah, you didn't have really a mask made of human skin.
No.
Looks good on YouTube, Rob.
Good. Yeah. Well, then this maybe it's past its doldrums.
All right.
It was a very upset machine for a while, but Microsoft started pushing BIOS updates and pushed the BIOS updates, so that might have been what
All right.
told it tweaking for.
I don't know if you heard, we're gonna have 16 tables now.
Because, you know,
G2B presents Corn.
Did you notice? I mean, we've never been to the damn show, and now we're a sponsor of it.
yeah, our live show's a lot stronger.
I agree. It's just, and again, Gary is so excited about his team down. I mean, that makes me happy. That's why
Wait,
Are we on both?
we're on both. Should be on both. Which one are you looking at?
All right. I can send you a hard
YouTube
copy.
comes up first, and then we stop Facebook. Oh wait, you know what? You're right about Facebook.
What about Facebook?
Don't worry, I got it.
All right.
Yeah, we're okay. It's just we gotta hit an extra button. It's been a while. Extra button. There's an extra button for Facebook.
To be
Facebook
continued.
is its own. Nice to see the studio. It's all
It's
open.
kind of big.
It is what it is. You know, I love my friends. All right, we're on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I have no idea.
Okay.
They change things every time.
I know.
That's the Facebook way.
We need some additional lighting.
Those evil. Oh yeah. Hey, we got a meme. All right. Cool.
All right.
All right. So I guess we'll get.
Yeah, let's start
Start
it.
this
Yeah,
off.
it's 6 to 9. Let's start this.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Live from the 6th subfloor basement of the Guys, Games and Beer. Man, that was loud. Towers. It's America's favorite gaming show. Unless you count all the others. It's Guys, Games, and Beer.
Yeah!
Screw you, giant bomb.
You surprised yourself on that, Rob. I love that.
Yeah,
the
it
fact
was
that
a
you
little
surprised
louder
yourself on that.
I remember myself.
So, hey, Larry, you were on the road this week.
I was just running around, seeing the Midwest, seeing the bird basket.
And see, the plus side of Larry being on the road is we get something special for
Yes.
Beer Court tonight.
Yeah.
Wait 1 second.
Hey, wait, what is it?
It's Beer Court.
Court.
That's it.
Wait.
Why?
Ba-da-bum. Ba-da-bum-bum. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum-bum.
I'd say we're going downhill, but we really we hit the bottom
Yeah,
years
we-
ago.
yeah,
We're just
yeah.
kind of flat
We're
line.
cruising the bottom.
So, hey, Larry, what'd you bring us back?
So this is KC Craft Brewers. This is a red lager.
Okay.
Says the KC Craft Brewers is a collection of KC area brewer professionals that assemble to make great beer and have it widely available in the Kansas City market.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay, so a couple things I love about the can. First of all, it says, do they only make ale and lagers? It literally says KC, and then says ale and lagers underneath that.
That could be.
Wow, interesting. So, as you guys know, I'm a lager guy, so, you know, the occasional IPA is not bad, But even better, what it says on the label. I think you noticed this, Tyler.
Yeah, on the very top there says, not owned by Belgians.
Yet. All right, let's give this a try and see what we got here.
Let's bust it open, and first things first, it did not overflow onto the floor. That's a big
Big plus right there.
Still, months ago, but we're still living the nightmare. We still have flashbacks.
It was so aggressive.
Yeah, really aggressive. All right. See, it's a red, so I already got good. I got high expectations.
Smells. I don't smell much, actually. Do you guys? Is
No.
Sense of smell gone bad, Kobe?
That is a strong malt.
Taste-wise.
Like paper.
It's so.
Oh, that's a red. That's immediately identified.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's a plus.
Yeah, sometimes that. So there's what? Grapefruit bitter and malt bitter, right?
No, the hops. You need that grapefruity taste from the Citra hops.
Yeah.
But not in this, baby.
No,
this is a malty beer.
This is a malty beer.
You ain't if you're looking for hops, don't drink a red. But don't drink this red in particular because you ain't taste. I mean, there's a little bitterness at the very.
Yeah, I mean,
it
says 26 on the International Bitter Units.
I've had.
You need eyeglasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they tell you exactly when they added.
Wow, Larry, you're doing that without your glasses. That's
Really?
impressive.
Yeah.
Okay.
First hop at 1 hour, second hop at 30 minutes, third hop at 15 minutes, and one late hop addition to finish.
Okay, that's got to be the first time on any beer we've ever reviewed where they actually give the hopping process in that detail.
Yeah.
Now, some people say we dry hop, or we add the hop later, or we hop tea it. But to give you the exact times they hopped it is a little on the interesting side.
Right above is the grains and the hops they added.
Okay, but I'm gonna real quick design people. You know what's not good? Kind of an orangish yellow on a red background.
Yeah.
It makes it hard to see.
I love that we're now reviewing whether we can read the back.
We're old, okay?
I love that it's come to this point where we're
Well,
like,
a lot, even the colorblind, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Thank you.
It's like, there's a lot of people.
think
it's
of
just
the
a bad design
colorblind
choice.
drinkers.
Yeah, it's a little bit janky all around.
I like
because
it.
it's like maybe a brighter color.
Is that like Bejeweled? Is that like the
Flavor.
Bejeweled clone?
Yeah.
Bajanky?
I gotta say, again, it's a malty red, but it's a good solid red.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
All right, well, then we'll start with you, Dallas. Dallas, party cooler, you grabbing it out of it?
Yeah.
Okay, Dallas.
It's got a nice taste to it. Yeah.
Agreed.
I can't
Yeah,
complain.
party cooler. Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I grabbed a party cooler.
Absolutely. Would walk around happily at the lakefront
Oh, heck yeah.
with this in my hand.
I'm
Dodging cops
Again,
left and
I'm
right.
actually looking for this in the party cooler. Pub?
Yeah, I would like to try it in a glass at least once because it does have like a nice enough, like a mellow enough flavor, and it's got like exactly what we expect in a lager anyway. A red lager nonetheless. So
Yeah. All right.
I'll try at least. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. So, that'd be
Absolutely, with
beer.
some food. Oh man.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Agreed on that.
Always.
Yeah, I would order this in the pub. Yep.
You know what not enough pubs have? Fireplaces. Because if you were sitting next to a fireplace with this beer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the pub.
with a sweater on, not like a modern
Like a
sweater,
cardigan?
like
You want
a
a cardigan?
Like
Like a
you can do
cable
a cardigan, but I'm thinking like those 70s sweaters.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
kind of woolly.
yeah.
You know the Five
That'd be good.
Below
You know,
bar in Vegas has a fireplace, but I mean it is encased in ice though.
Yeah, it kind of takes the fun of it. Yeah, again,
That's not the same.
I agree. Pub with dinner. This would be a
yeah.
great, good burger or something like that. With
something-
this
that's
would be
exactly what I was
freaking
thinking,
awesome.
something like that would be. This would be perfect.
Yeah,
for that.
yeah, because it's got a little.
It's so heavy and it's pretty filling.
Yeah, that is as well.
So you know.
Okay, so all right, well,
That's 5.8 too.
5.8.
it's a 5.8. Oh, okay,
So it's gonna get you going.
It's getting up there. All right, well let's see.
It's a good launch pad.
Let's see what we think about this, Dallas.
Yeah.
Wait, not yet.
No, you already know my answer.
Okay,
Like, why am I going to say
I
I
kind of-
agree about
I
the party
kind-
cooler? It's like, okay, yeah, great in party cooler, great with food.
Nonsense!
Yeah.
Suck it.
It ruins the stick.
All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Hey.
Yeah, okay, no surprises there. This is a solid beer. All right, Larry, one more time. Actually, Judge Rob, first you pass verdict on this.
All right. On the charge of curing what ails ya,
Oh.
find you guilty. That's a good one. I like it. Find you guilty and sentence you to
Drinking!
So I'm pretty sure they only distribute this locally. So if you're in the Kansas City area, you might want to look for it.
It
That's
definitely.
Kansas City.
It'd be worth seeking out, guys.
Craft brewers.
Yeah, definitely worth seeking out. I will.
Definitely, if you're going through, you should probably grab this.
Yeah,
one.
that is a definite must. So now that we've enjoyed a good beer, Rob, we got something else to do tonight. Something interesting actually.
A
That's
dank meme.
Oh, that's right. Let's do the dank meme.
Oh my
real fast.
God! It's been so long.
You almost
it's
forgot
time
about
for
that.
people.
It's like crawling out of my dirty cave.
It's
Crawl a whole 5 minutes over
not,
here.
wait, we'll give it a little animation. There. Oh, Dallas's dank memes. Let's get into Discord here for this one. And today's. Would you like to talk about today's dank meme?
Good old green text.
It's the most evil thing you've ever done, Brad. And we start with bored as fuck. Call random number. Woman answers. I didn't pre-read this one, so it might be pretty.
Oh, okay. That's not
Yeah.
a good start, Rob. You should probably pre-read
Hi,
this
it's the
one, Rob.
school calling about your child. About Jack? What's wrong? Nothing. We just wanted to let you know the music teacher apparently says you've got a little Elvis on your hands. Really? Yeah, we just found him dead on the toilet. Oh, my.
Spicy!
Okay.
Oh,
Now-
that's a spicy meatball right there.
All right. Now that we got that out of the way, Rob, why are we really here this evening, Rob?
Hey, today we're with... Yeah, we didn't practice that one at all.
No, we didn't.
We're with Pat.
Was I popping in there? Pat.
Sure,
There
you
you
pop
go,
in
there
there.
we go.
One more time. We're with,
Pat.
and Pat, you're with.
Real Noise Labs.
All right. So let's. What is Real Noise Labs? What are you guys up to?
Real Noise Labs is really just me, but I needed something to call the studio to slap on the cake. Saying just have my first and last name on it. Keep it interesting, right? Something I'd like to grow more someday, but I'm working on my debut game, Terramachi battle card game.
All right. Well, let's give us the quick elevator pitch for everybody. What is Terramachi, the battle card game?
So Terramachi is a monster-based card-playing rogue-lite auto-battler. So basically what you're doing is in kind of a rogue-lite sort of Slay the Spire style format, you start a run and you're drawing different cards of the different monsters that I call Machi, and each monster has their own unique ability, and they evolve sort of the same way Pokemon does. They're all based on different elements, and the kind of element sort of influences what their ability does. So, you know, the shock, you know, sort of lightning types are all about like dealing lightning in battle and dealing damage and stuff like that, whereas the grass types are more about healing your teammates and stuff. So effectively what you're doing is you're drawing these cards and playing them to your team slots. You have up to 5 slots to build your team, evolve the guys, and then after the end of each card playing turn, you go into battle and you play against other real teams online. So what it's doing is using asynchronous multiplayer to, instead of, you know, having to live match make, wait for opponents, it's basically pulling down other teams, previous teams that they sent into battle. You battle against them, and then what you're trying to do is get 10 wins to win a run. But then you can also, you know, play live head-to-head against your friends, and it's all kind of all about building strategies of getting different synergies with the abilities and stuff like that. And it's just, as the run progresses, things just get crazier and crazier and sparks flying in battle.
So the other teams aren't actually online at the time. But their team sort of lives out there?
Correct, yeah. So basically what's happening is when you go into battle, it's looking at what turn you're on. It's all kind of like turn-based, your run. So, you know, each like 3 turns, you unlock new sets of cards. And so when you go into battle, what it's doing is uploading your team to a database. And so then when you go into battle, it's looking at what turn you're on and kind of looking at your skill level, like how many runs you've played, stuff like that, and finding comparable teams. And then it pulls a team down from that database and basically downloads all the data, the monsters that they had, what their stats were, because you're kind of buffing their stats like in these like item rounds and stuff. And you face them in battle, and then the battle plays out automatically. That's kind of the auto-battler component of it. So the monsters at the front do like a melee attack where they're like just vanilla, you know, attack and defense stats sort of go head-to-head. And then all the abilities play out from there. So all the abilities are mainly like reaction based. So it'll be like one guy will be, you know, once he gets hurt, then he's going to buff the guy behind him, you know, give him extra attack. And then his might be, you know, oh, when I get healed in battle, you know, then I'm going to do something else. So kind of what you're trying to do is build synergies and like create these crazy chain reactions and yeah, it basically just gets wilder and wilder as the run goes on.
So, as for the stat geeks, do you like if you log on, can you see how many times like your group of your team has been downloaded and whether or not it's won or lost those different battles?
I don't have that on the player's end. I do have that information on my end. I have a lot of like analytics tied in that I'm mainly using for bouncing at the moment. So I'll see I can see whenever someone plays a card, and I can see, oh, this monster is like never getting played. His ability must suck. This guy must be boring. Maybe I should go rework that guy. What I would like to do at some point is I think down the road, it's pretty early on. The game's fully playable right now, but there's a long ways to go in terms of all the features I really want to have in the game. And what you brought up is actually something I've thought about, where I think it would be really cool to even have outside of the main game loop, sort of have your ultimate team that you send into battle, and they're playing against other ultimate teams online. Almost like Pokemon Gym style, the way Pokemon Go does the gyms, if you play that at all. You have your guy that you leave there. And then so you could see that team and how they're doing online and stuff, and that's kind of its own sort of component of the game.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of trying to make this thing as feature rich as possible. So what you brought up, yeah, that's totally something I want to do but don't have yet.
Ah, okay, yeah, because I could see where you'd want to as you're playing your own game, you might want to learn from how your other teams have played out.
Yeah. If
that team always loses, that team always wins.
Right, and so if I can see what they're doing, and what kind of cards they're fielding, I'm more apt to.
Or just see how your own team, I fielded this team and I put this team out, and now it's played 10 other teams out there.
Right.
And it's won them all, it's lost them all, it's what, and then the next time I play, I go, oh, well, these are the elements I might want to keep in my new team,
right?
Because they did very well,
Yeah. No, I can see that being something to throw in. All right, so let's
Moneyball.
Yeah. There you go. So, you've got something going. You got a Kickstarter going right now, and we're gonna shout that out right away so people know where can they find. So where they can also get more information after this interview. But where can people find this game and back it right now?
So on Kickstarter, the Kickstarter link is just the kickstarter.com/project/realnoiselabs/Terramachi.
We will have the link in the description.
You've got the link in the Discord here. I could always just comment on this on your Facebook post here too, just with the link there as well.
It should also be on the Facebook post, and it should be on the YouTube as well.
Right.
It should be in the general description. So if you're watching
this
right now,
I see it on your yeah.
And if it's the future and you're on YouTube, take a look at the show description, YouTube, and you're on.
You're fine.
You know what? If you're listening to the podcast, it's in the description as well. Sorry.
If you're on the dark web.
Yeah, if you're on the dark web, then you're on your own. So, all right.
If you're on our Grinder site, it's. Oh, wait.
So what?
It's on my chest.
Yeah. Let me say how. So, what made you decide to, seeing as you are a office of one, what made you decide to develop this game?
So I've been doing Unity development, game development in general for a little over 6 years now, and I've worked at a few different studios. Mainly I've been doing, just sort of general software development as well, working at a lot of startups. So I'm definitely used to kind of, doing the grunt work and, a small team, company of 5 people where you just basically, every week is live or die. You either put in the work, grind it out, or the whole thing fails and, everyone's got to have their piece. And so I think eventually, I knew at some point I was going to want to do my own thing and kind of, start it off on my own because I know I've got the grit to do it. So I think this was just kind of the natural progression for me. It was just a matter of time, and I think it came to a point where it was I know I'm going to do it eventually. Why not now? Why wait until later when, I'm married and have kids and stuff? I could do this. Now seems like the time to really, buckle down and just bootstrap it. So that's kind of what I did. I had a partner that I was working with last year who kind of invested and actually helped just pay my rent for a good chunk of the year. Yeah. So I was just working, and I took full advantage of that. So I was working 60 to 80 hours a week on this thing, just going nuts. And that money kind of ran out at the end of last year. So I had to take a couple months, sort of readjust, make sure I can just survive to keep working on this thing. But I mean, the game idea basically was just, you know, like I think a lot of good games are, is sort of a conglomerate of, you know, a lot of components that I like from different games. Where I like, you know, the sort of roguelite deck building genre with games like Slay the Spire and Monster Train. If anyone's played Slay the Spire but hasn't played Monster Train, go fucking play Monster Train.
Hey, have you played Dicey Dice?
I haven't. I've seen that, and it looks awesome. I think I might have. It might be like in my Steam backlog. I think I've bought it, but haven't gotten around to it. That and what's the Inscription? Is that the sort of like creepy one?
No. It's kind of like the deck builder rogue that is Spires, but
Is it a rogue-like or a rogue-lite?
See, okay, so we knew this, we knew this was going to happen.
I did it to myself.
Instead of building, you build your cards are sort of like your weapon, and you use dice against the weapons that you have to defeat your enemies. It's a run. You know, you're going down 4 levels of the dungeon, and then there's a final 5th level.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun. It's a little. It's kind of more along this lines that I'm seeing, kind of cutesy, whereas Spires has a little more I don't know, edgier artwork or something like that.
Yeah, it's a little darker.
Ominous, you know, a little darker. This one is you know, it's well, your dice, so and the creatures are, everybody's kind of cutesy. Kind of like I'm seeing the artwork for your game is more on the adorable side.
Yeah, we kind of think Sunsprout's adorable.
It's definitely more on like the cute, lovable side, and I kind of try to keep the balance where all of them at least have a little bit of cuteness in them, but there's still kind of the aggressive ones thrown in there, which is, I mean, kind of what early like Pokemon did, right? Where there's like the cute ones that like you get attached to, and it's like, you know, don't want to see you get hurt, but you know they gotta, you know, Pikachu's got to go fight Onix and get fucked up, you know. So there's a lot of that. I mean, I think the Pokemon inspiration is fairly obvious. I'm certainly not trying to hide it, you know. But I was like a first gen Pokemon fan. I kind of didn't keep up with it too much after that, and I think part of my experience with Pokemon in that way sort of plays into this game where I loved the first generation of Pokemon when it first came out. I think my first Pokemon thing I had was like from the back of a Lunchables box in kindergarten before I even had the cards. But I just like instantly fell in love with it because I thought the monsters were all so charming, and they just all seemed like they had so much like personality behind them that you could kind of, as a kid, you know, sort of make up. But for me, I felt like Pokemon lost that a little bit along the way as like the designs became a little more generic. It felt like there was sort of a lot of filler in there. So kind of as far as like the design approach of this game goes, like I wanted to come to each character with like intention. Everyone seems like they have some like personality, and everything's like thought through, and no one's just like thrown in there. And I mean, as far as the name of my studio goes, that's kind of the whole ethos too. Real Noise Labs, the whole thing is kind of meant to be like, you know, real noise, no bullshit, you know, just only make things that, you know, come from a genuine place, and you feel like you're making a contribution with it, instead of just trying to, you know, like put something out and farm for money, you know, and oversaturate, you know, an already oversaturated market.
So is there like a game mechanic or a sort of a twist that you feel like this game has that's kind of unique to it?
I think the fact, I mean, compared to other, you know, these like card-playing roguelike games, the fact that, you know, all the teams you're playing against are purely online, whereas, you know, games like the one you mentioned, Slay the Spire and stuff like that, it's all, you know, kind of a pre-scripted, you know, monster, you know, the teams you're playing against, playing this roadmap. Like, there's a lot of, like, randomness to it, but as far as, like, what you're playing against is kind of, like, all been, like, laid out, and it's like there's an algorithm to it. Whereas this, like, I feel like that adds a little bit more randomness to it, just the teams you're playing online, and I think it kind of adds another layer of, like, you know, it feels good to beat someone else in a game. And I think the cool thing about the asynchronous multiplayer part is, like, you get that satisfaction of, like, kicking someone else's ass, but you don't necessarily have to be, like, live head-to-head waiting to do it, you know what I mean? You can kind of just go on and be like, you know, there'll be a guy you keep getting played against his teams or something, he keeps beating you and you finally get him, and like even though he's not right there, you're like, yeah, you know, F you.
I love the fact that to me that's brilliant. Again, as an online gamer, it's always good when it takes that out of the mix of having to, well, are they online right now? Are they in game?
Right.
Where I can just drop in and fight them anyway. So I'm good with this because I keep weird hours. So if I can jump in at 2 in the morning when I'm just
Tom, everything about you is weird. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, but that only. I mean, you aren't purposely. You can't purposely try to like. Oh, I'm gonna go on and beat Tom today.
well, you can with this one now, right?
No,
With
I'm
this-
not sure you can. That's what I'm asking.
No, he said it's asynchronous, so yeah, they don't have to be there. You can jump in.
No, but it's random that who
Oh.
they end up.
No, he did say that you can play with your friends directly.
Well, so and there's a couple parts to that too. I mean, for one, I mean that was kind of my approach too. Where I mean, you said like you're a late night gamer playing at weird hours. Like I'm the same way, and so like that was part of my like wanting to do something like this because like Monster Train has a like multiplayer thing, but it's only live matchmaking. It's one of those things where it's like if it's late and there's like 5 people online, like you go up to like matchmake, you wait maybe like a minute, you're like all right, fuck it, and you just like DQ, and it's like I feel like everyone's just doing that. You just have to catch each other at the same time.
Right.
So like with this, the asynchronous part, like there is just the standard mode, but then kind of more to what you're talking about, like when you get a vengeance against someone, there is a like asynchronous like King of the Hill mode, I call it, where basically what you're trying to do is instead of the standard mode where you're just trying to get to 10 wins before you lose all your health, what you're doing is you're trying to survive to the longest turn you can. And all those teams, like when you're playing in that mode, those teams are only getting uploaded to that mode. And so if say like the top guy, and it's on like a leaderboard system, so the top guy in that leaderboard, say he got to like turn 15, when you get to turn 15, you're going to be playing that guy's team, and it's going to tell you like, hey, this is the final battle, win this battle to dethrone this guy. And if you win that battle, then you're on the top of the leaderboard, and you get this little like after screen where there's this little like Olympic style podium thing. And then the weekly leaderboard basically refreshes every week, and then last week's results get pushed to like another window that you can see, and so you kind of get your little week or two of honor, and it's kind of sticking it to whoever you're having your vengeance against.
Well, is there like a trash talking board then?
So there's we're active in Discord right now. I have a system that I haven't deployed yet, but is all pretty much finished and working. That is basically a like total social system for the game. So what that has is like a way for you to like add your friends to a friends list. There's like a general chat. You can like direct message your friends, and then with that also you can like create lobbies, invite your friends like head to head. You can invite like 6 friends to a head to
I
head.
can invite my friends
so
to get their ass kicked. Oh.
Hey.
Because then what I want in that too is I want like a live reaction system because you're playing live against each other in battle. Like be able to emote stuff like that. But like when I was at the Midwest Gaming Classic, like I had 2 computers set up and they were both linked together. So if any 2 people sat down like together, they could play head to head against each other and be talking smack and all that. And
Okay.
that kind of that changes the gameplay a little bit too as far as the strategy. Whereas like when you're playing single player solo, you're kind of just trying to get this sort of invincible team that can beat everything that gets thrown at you. Whereas when you're playing live against someone, like after each turn you're trying to like, oh, this guy did like a poison build, so I'm gonna try to like counter by like knocking those guys out early, guys who do early damage, stuff like that before they can catch stuff like that. So it like changes the way you play a bit. I think that kind of makes it fun.
I will bring the fire.
He always
Fire
brings
burns.
fire.
Fire burns poison.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
I'm gonna jump back a few steps. So you're doing this in Unity?
Yep, I've been a Unity guy for a little over 6 years now, so
Nice.
that's my bread and butter.
No, we understand that completely. So
Everybody, yeah.
So it's
every game developer.
what platforms are we on then?
Right now, just PC. It does run on mobile. The game isn't super like like system heavy, so it runs fine on mobile. At least on any phone in the last few years. The only reason I'm not like releasing it on mobile yet is because it's still in alpha, and so I'm kind of doing incrementally getting it out there. But all the controls like are already built like to work on mobile. Really, it's just a matter of I just kind of want to focus on one build at a time while I'm still like early in development, seeing as I'm just one person. I just gotta prioritize my time. But by the time I get to when I get this, it's in alpha now. By the time I get to beta, I'll probably move from I have like a custom Windows launcher right now. So when you launch it, it like self updates any patches that I pushed up since you played last. So once I get to beta, I'll probably move it to Steam and do like a Steam early access thing. And by the time I get to that stage, I think it'll probably be okay to port onto mobile. But ultimately what I want to do, I mean, this will probably be more next year sort of thing, but I'd like to get it on Switch and get it on Xbox, PlayStation, because mechanically it's pretty simple, you know. I mean, when you be playing your cards, you just be pressing left, right, select your card, press the button, select your slot, play to the slot, and boom, bam, that's it, you know what I mean? Because the battle plays out automatically, so the controls, like, are really simple. So that's also kind of what makes it pretty easy to pick up, too, because like, you know, at Midwest Gaming Classic, at these conventions where there's a lot of younger kids that like the monsters, want to come and play it. I mean, those kids aren't sitting at home playing PC games for the most part, but they can sit down and do it because it's just, you know, drag and drop.
Yeah, I can see sitting on an iPad at night.
Yeah, it would be good for mobile.
If you heard me say something when you're the Switch, we have a running joke on the show that the Switch plays everything.
Yeah, because everything on Switch.
But at first was going to be a
It
complete
used to be
failure.
Yeah, I remember that. Two of us
Boy,
said it
were we
wouldn't be.
wrong.
Just saying. Yeah, it's funny because the everything on Switch was a big. It was a big thing on the heck is Twitter.
Yeah.
Remember, and then everything became on Switch, and there's nothing for them to tweet out about anymore because everything's just on Switch. But anyway, don't worry about that. We do always ask anybody who's doing a Kickstarter if you had to do your Kickstarter again, what lesson would you take with you?
Oh man, that's a good question because this is my first time doing a Kickstarter. I mean, like I said, this is my first solo project. I would say definitely focus more on the pre-launch. Kind of where I got to with it was something that I was planning on doing for a while, but it was just sort of on the back burner, launching the Kickstarter that is. But then the Midwest Gaming Class was coming up, and I sort of got a response from the guy running it, like, sort of last minute. I mean, it was maybe 3 weeks before that he emailed me back, and I was lined up to go. And I'm coming in from Minneapolis. I know you guys. Are you guys in Milwaukee?
Yeah, we're in
Close.
Racine, just the next city south of there.
Well, south.
Gotcha. Yeah,
You
so
know,
it
the
was a
city
little
you
bit
haven't
of
heard
for me,
of.
So, you know, I was like I was making these big plans to go do that. I was like, this is gonna be great. There's gonna be so many people there to plug the game. I feel like I've got to have the Kickstarter live when I get out there. And so what I did was I launched it on the Saturday when we were there live. And that still was that part was positive because I got a lot of pledges from people like they're playing the game. And it kind of showed that it's one of those things where it's like, if I can just get this thing in front of people seem to get interested. I think the monsters kind of draw people in and you can just kind of talk more about it from there. But the Kickstarter, I mean, since then has stagnated a little bit. And so what I'm doing is I have a couple friends who work in marketing and stuff like that because, I mean, I can only wear so many hats, you know? I mean, like I said, it's a solo project. So there's a lot of things I can do, a lot of hats I can wear, but marketing I do not have a background in. So I've been making some posts on Reddit, stuff like that. So I've got a friend who hopefully can give some help with that. But yeah, I would say focus more on pre-launch, get people lined up, get those emails sent out the day it launches. Because I think having like front loading that momentum, I think can be pretty big.
Hey, speaking of many hats, you do the artwork?
So I don't do the art. I have a sketch artist and then an illustrator. So the art is basically spread amongst a couple of people. So what I do is come to the sketch artist with kind of the ideas of, I kind of give some reference material and say, hey, I kind of want say, you know, this guy who's coming up on the screen there, the mushroom guy. I'll say, hey, I want kind of like this, you know, like, there's going to be a 2-stage evolution. One's just a regular mushroom, and then the other one is, you know, kind of this, like, if you think of, like, some of those crazy mushrooms, like, out in the wild that, like, you know, you, like, kick them or, like, push on them or something, all, like, the spores and stuff, like, come out. Like, I was kind of thinking of that as, like, being sort of, like, the spirit of the mushroom or something, you know, like, go with this, like, ghost mushroom, and then each one kind of come, like, prescribed with what kind of element I want them to be, and then kind of what their, like, personality and pose and stuff. And then I'll kind of go back and forth with the sketch artist from there until, like, we have something nailed down. But the sketch artist that I work with is, I mean, clearly awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I went through tried out stuff with a few different artists before landing on this guy with stuff that was like, you know, it's not that it's bad, but it's not what I'm going for. Then this guy just fucking nailed it. And so once we've like, you know, settled on the sketch with that guy, then I send it over to a illustrator who was just somebody that I found on Twitch who was like, she was making, her whole thing was like making like cursed Pokemon. Like I think when I first found her, she was doing a live stream of like mashing up Nigel Thornberry with, I don't know, like Lickitung or something like that from Pokemon. And so we tried out a couple of different illustration styles. One, the first was just like a actual like physical watercolor, and then we did like a digital watercolor, which is what you see here. There'll probably be sort of a final production version of these, like that we actually like run the final game with. But as for now, I mean, I think these could go live as they are.
Yeah,
There's some that I want to rework and stuff like that, but yeah, as far as the art though, I don't do the art, but I kind of like help with the design and the ideas of them.
I think everybody agreed they liked the art.
Yeah,
it's
you're right. They really did nail this design. It's got a very good, nice unified look to it, which some of these games get a little bit weird. You know, you can tell when they've used multiple artists or the artist didn't have a clear vision.
Right. That's tough when you've got so many. It's tough to keep that consistency.
Yeah, and this definitely has it from what we've seen so far. It really looks good. All right, so hey guys, just so you know, I just did the Kickstarter. So if you haven't done the Kickstarter yet, hit that link on the bottom. I am now going to be doing the early testing on this.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
join me on this. All right.
Inside each of the
Probably will, yeah.
inside the game, is there a little backstory on each one of these little creatures?
So not officially yet. That's definitely something that's been brought up. People have asked that same question. Again, it's one of those things where it just hasn't been high enough on the priority list to write that all out. I think that would be a fun thing to like kind of what I talk about like on the Kickstarter like video up in the header a little bit is how my emphasis on how like I want this to be kind of community driven. Where right now it's just community driven in the sense that, you know, we've got a bunch of people in Discord who are psyched about it and, you know, play test and help find bugs and, you know, give balancing suggestions, stuff like that. Because like I said, I mean, to say it again, you know, I can't say it enough times, but there's only so much time I can spend, you know, both developing it, focusing on the direction, handling the business side, and then also play testing and finding the balance stuff. So that part is huge, having the community, like, you know, sort of handling a lot of that. And I like to take direct suggestions, you know, like, I take them with a grain of salt, obviously, but a lot of the balancing updates are directly influenced from the Discord.
Wait, so are you saying that you are open to backstories from basically people that are investing in the game?
So you can do fanfic.
Okay, like
You
this,
can do fanfic.
like this turtle sea pony, like that's what I.
How do you get turtle sea pony out?
Which one are you referring to?
Paleon. Larry somehow sees a turtle sea pony in there. I don't know how the hell he got that out of there.
I think you can see it if you look at it. But
only if you drank a little bit first.
But the point is, if I came up with a backstory for that, you might use it in the game. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think, so I've got a few different, like, text channels and stuff in Discord, which I think will only grow more, but yeah, I'm definitely open to, like, hearing what other people want, like, kind of what they, like, kind of, like, feel from these characters and stuff like that. I mean, I think what the process probably would be is if I did use somebody's, like, it'd probably be something that we use the idea, kind of, you know, formatted all so they're all, you know, sort of uniform, and then...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, and it even just, like, you know, throw someone a credit in a game or something like that, you know? I mean...
Well, there you go, fans. Now you gotta do your fanfic
I think that's something that's getting lost a little bit these days, where I think, you know, we're getting back into a bit more of a golden age of indie gaming again. But, you know, these big games that people have been playing for so long, like the AAA games that we're also attached to, I feel like, you know, we sort of just get the cold shoulder from, you know, these AAA developers that, like, we have these ideas, like, stuff we want to see from the games, even just, like, basic features that we want, and they're just like, you know? So I feel like bringing some of that back, you know, and just like directly listening to people and say like, hey, you know, you have an idea for this game, that's cool. It's at least we can at least try it out, you know, even just have like, you know, some experimental game mode stuff like that.
That's why we love indie gaming.
True.
Again,
Totally.
we are all about the indie gaming on this show. We do a lot of the shows where we seek out the indie gamers and you know, get them on the show because we love the fact that you have that connection with the community.
Yeah, and how
So-
many freaking Kickstarters have we all contributed to over the years?
More than I care to mention. More than my wife probably enjoys that I do.
So it's a card game design. It's digital, obviously, in its first iteration. So, you know, so it's kind of like sometimes they go start as a card game
And go to digital. So are you thinking-
sometimes they go as a digital.
So he's asking you,
as a
in the
card game.
future, could this jump from a digital game to a physical game?
That's an interesting question.
Oh, I would love to see that. I mean, even if it's not being an actual game, but just having, you know, sort of collector cards and stuff like that. I think some of the earliest like feedback I got from this when we our first public exposure at all was showing at a much smaller local convention here in Minneapolis back in August, and that was a lot of the feedback was like, this thing is just super marketable if nothing else. So I would love to, you know, get actual cards made and then actually design, you know, a bit of a game, like physical card game with that, which, you know, I'm sure, you know, would probably result in another Kickstarter sometime next year with, hopefully with a bit more experience. But, you know, I want like physical cards. A lot of people have asked for plushies, but that's a whole process, so that's probably
Plushies,
down the road.
Yeah, no, dude.
Yeah,
if you can
what's
do
the
plushies.
Yeah.
Full-size costumes, what?
Yeah.
No, not furries, not furries.
Oh,
No,
Plushies.
dude.
Plushies.
Like the
Alright,
millions and
alright.
millions we saw in
Alright.
DC. It's
Alright.
like once there's a demand for the franchise, people will want
Clearly-
plushies of it. Yeah.
Clearly, the beer's been flowing.
All right.
I would like to get back to real quick before we start wrapping things up. I would like to talk about the reward tiers for the Kickstarter because you know
Sure.
because tiers matter.
They do matter, actually. And start going through them, and
Yeah,
I'll
let-
comment on that.
Would
a
you
little bit.
actually you want to run through your reward tiers?
Yeah, sure. So the first one I put on there, I kind of put as just a, you know, like, because I know some people just want to give sometimes less than like what the tiers are and just to, you know, like have something. So I have the $10 certified cool guy where you can, I want anyone who gives money to be able to get their name thrown in the credits just as a shout out and a thank you. And then bump up from that, the $20, we have the Steam pre-order for once it hits early access in Steam. And then bumping up from there, $40 you can get the alpha access. And so what the alpha access is kind of what I talked about earlier with the custom Windows launcher. So that's only going to be on Steam, or only on a PC, sorry, up until, you know, further release. But we have people in the Discord playing now that are people from before the Kickstarter who kind of got in before that was a tier and are just kind of trying to get some play testers in. So what that is you get continuous updates that I push up to that launcher, and that's going to keep going on. I mean, I push up as regularly as I can, so you can follow along with the development as it goes. That's kind of the most popular one right now, I think, because that gets you playing. Once the Kickstarter is over, you'll be able to get access right away and get going. Up from there, I have some physical rewards. I've got the coloring book, where I basically have just the uncolored sketches thrown into a book. And then I've got the, I think before that, I should pull it up right in front of me, but I've got some stickers I'm going to get made, which I'll probably do a poll just in the Discord of which monsters people want stickers made the most of. So the sticker pack gets you 5 unique monsters, so I'll do 5 individual different ones. Then the coloring book I mentioned. Then I want to do a coffee table book, which would be just kind of a hardcover, like large format book that is going to contain all the concept art from the game. So all of the like original, like, you know, uncolored sketches from the monsters. You can kind of like see like how they progress like up to their final form. All the different like, you know, background like sketch arts and stuff, all that stuff. So I think we can make a pretty thick book already just with what I have right now. Up to the top one, which is I think the 900 amount, where you can help design one of the monsters. I met someone at the Midwest Gaming Classic who actually did that tier, so that should be pretty fun.
Nice.
So kind of the idea with that is like, you know, if there's, I think that's kind of a cool one, because, you know, I think there's a lot of people who are like, you know, I think there's probably so many people who've always had an idea for a Pokemon, something like that, or they've got, you know, I mean, everyone's got some idea, you know, whether they spring for that or not. So what that would look like is kind of working back and forth with me to kind of like settle on like the influence from it. You'll be kind of clued in on the design process. Like when we agree on something, we send that over to the sketch artist, get that back, you know, like, hey, is this kind of what you had in mind? And you can kind of help mold the thing into its final form, and then you'll get a design credit in the final credits.
Pitch in for a drunk Larry.
All right, so hey, one more time, and again, guys, it's in all the links. Just click on one of the links. But where can they find you on Kickstarter?
Kickstarter, search Terramachi Battle Card Game.
All right, believe me, it worked. I got right to it when I did the search because I'm too lazy to type all that crap in. So, all right, so hey, Rob, why don't we start wrapping this up?
All right, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show. Really
Yeah, thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me, guys.
I like the interview episodes.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't done enough
Me too.
recently.
Yeah, you were on fire tonight, Larry. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
Larry was
Okay,
on
this
fire.
is the most coherent Larry's been in like weeks.
Yeah.
Years. It was
Years.
Okay,
Been
maybe,
around.
it's maybe been a few years. It was like he was on fire tonight. It's like couldn't get a question in edgewise. Larry just kept asking the same questions I was going to ask. It's like, okay, I guess I'll let that go. Okay, I guess
Larry
I'll let
do
that
it,
go.
Yeah, meth is very beneficial.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so that was a good one. So, all right, so, Rob. Where are we?
This is episode. This is every episode is brought to you by Lionheart Racing. Lionheart Racing, all the joy of racing without the rubber hot dogs. You can check them out if you go to www.guysgamesandbeer.net. Take a look on the top right-hand corner of the screen. There's a linky poo. You can click right through. Catch yourself some racing.
Yeah, hey.
I'm serious. Real announcers. I mean, this is like.
Yeah, if you have not experienced one of the Lionheart Racing Series races, you definitely need to check those out. They are absolutely amazing. Hey, where are we going to be in 4 weeks, Rob?
Oh, we're going to be at CorksCon 4... Oh, wait.
4 weeks, dude. It's only 4 weeks away. If
Wait,
not even 4 weeks now, I think.
Where's Cam 2? Oh, wait. There we go. Hey! Oh, Ryan doesn't make it on either Cam.
Did you sit off camera?
Wow. And he's like, you're in the fucking blind spot.
All right. So
Wave Dallas.
That's where all the crime takes place.
we are going to be at CorksCon in 4 weeks down in Columbus, Ohio. If you are in the area, stop by and have a beer with us. We are going to be bringing down a lot of the goodies. I don't think we've got anything.
We're gonna have basically a full flotilla there.
Yeah, we're
gonna
on meth, we're on speed, we're on crack,
Of course.
heroin,
All the goodies. So yeah,
crocodile,
definitely stop down, check us
bath
out down at
salts,
CorksCon.
everything, yeah.
All right, Rob.
We're
One more
bringing
time.
some of the
Wanna
80s drugs. We're
Yeah,
gonna
Give a big shout out,
Cool
Pat. Thanks for
drugs,
being on the
you know.
show this evening. Guys, again, go check out that Kickstart. Let's get this.
If you're listening to this, well, wherever, you can check us out at www.youtube.com/guysgamesandbeer. If you want to check out Facebook, you want to check out the dank memes, you can go to www.facebook.com/guysgamesandbeer. Check out the Guys Games and Beer support group, where there's stuff constantly going on. You're gonna see dank memes.
Lots of dank memes.
I
Hey,
love saying
you know what?
dank.
I gotta give
At
away
50, you should say
I
dank.
gotta give away a game tomorrow. So
Oh,
Good idea,
you're gonna
yeah.
give away a game?
yeah, so guys, check out the Twitter feed at Rob.
It's the Revenge of Tom, by the way.
Twitter feed.
Twitter's at Guys Games Beer. There's no and in that one.
Yeah.
Too much on Humble Bumble.
I will-
Need to give away games.
Exactly. I'm gonna be giving away some games tomorrow.
Shovelware.
Hey, I'll give away some good games.
I know you've been giving away some good shit lately, yeah. You know,
All right,
I can't remember.
let's wrap this up, Rob.
All right. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys. We'll all see you guys.
Next week.
No, it's just gonna be me. I'm
All
gonna
right,
be here next
Rob's
week. I'm
just
gonna
gonna sit in
stare
the
the
studio by
camera
himself.
for about an hour. Anyway, yeah, check us out next week. Same time, same channel. And there we go.
Later on, bye. All right, Pat, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. Again, the stuff's not live already, and we'll usually end up on the podcast in a week or two after Rob edits it.
I put some background
But
music
you
on it.
you can link up directly to to the YouTube feed right away, because that'll be live right away if you want to. And
Cool, yeah, I'll post that one on my Discord. So you said the edited podcast that goes on. Is that gonna be on Spotify then?
Rob?
It might be. We posted about.
What's your guys' platform?
We posted about every. We actually have a mega platform that we post from that posts us like all over the
All
place.
over.
So I can't even remember what all we're on.
Should be
We're
on
definitely on iTunes.
Should be on iTunes. We'll be on the Internet Archive. We'll be on.
Yeah, we're always on the Internet Archive.
We'll be on our site.
Yeah, believe it or not, you can actually get us in the. Oh my God! I caught transmission now. I am losing you.
You are losing it, Rob.
Oh my goodness! What's a pirate bay? Torrent. Yeah,
Miserable
you
pirates!
You can actually torrent us.
Yes. So
Pretty cool.
Okay.
we will send you more info once Rob puts up.
We can get those stats.
Don't become 50. That's what I'm telling you. Don't become 50.
we have one.
Don't
one
become
torrent
13 either. They don't know what streaming is. They don't know what pirating is.
They
all.
put us up there.
Oh, that's
All right.
Sad.
Cool. Well, I'll tell you guys what I'll do here. Since the way the alpha access works with the Kickstarters, like those download links go out like once the Kickstarter finishes, and like there's a good chance at this point I think the Kickstarter like doesn't fall through. So what I'm gonna do is I have the download link for the game. If you guys want to play it, I'll send that to you guys directly. You guys can go ahead and play the game for having me on your podcast.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Nice.
Mind you, I did back the game tonight as we were speaking. So hey,
Oh, sweet. Well, I appreciate it. Well, then, yeah, I mean, all the more reasons. So I'll TM that to you. You guys can share it amongst each other, but just don't share the link to anyone else.
You got it.
Just fucking hop in there and start playing it. I just
Don't
sent
put it on the
it
pirate
to
bay with our.
Retro
No,
Bob.
I won't. 'Cause that's tempting as well. But it is.
all right.
Alright, so
Thank you, man. We'll talk to you later.
Great chatting with all you guys. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
All right, thank
Have a
you.
good one. Thanks, man.
All right, you two guys, take it easy.
All right.
Yeah, you too, brother.